You clicked on this video because the words banned K-dramas triggered that little dopamine hit in your brain. Don't act like you're here for intellectual discourse. You're here because you love mess, and I'm here to deliver. Number 1. Mr. Queen. Why Korea hated it? Koreans don't joke about their history. Mr. Queen treated real people and sacred rituals like props in a comedy skit. Imagine your great-grandmother's life story turned into a parody where she's guzzling soju and doing TikTok dances at her ancestor's shrine. Funny? To you, maybe? Offensive? To Koreans, absolutely. This drama tried to be edgy and irreverent, but came off as historically tone-deaf. Koreans saw a line, and Mr. Queen pole vaulted right over it. And don't even get me started on the sacred artifacts they turned into punchlines. Honestly, if you stan the show, do everyone a favor and delete your History Channel subscription. It's wasted on you. Why you loved it? Body-swapping hijinks. Quirky humor. Shin Hae-sun slaying as a Joseon queen with 21st century sass. You were probably too busy laughing to notice that the historical part of this historical drama was, non-existent. 2. Backstreet Rookies. Why you loved it? Ji Chang-wook being awkwardly charming, and a rebellious teen showing up in short skirts to cause chaos. Sounds cute, right? Why Korea hated it? Where do we even begin? An underage girl kisses an adult man in episode 1. Later, there's a subplot involving prostitution. Oh, and those camera angles? The director basically had the lens crawling around the female lead's thighs like a lost tourist. Family rom-com? If your family consists of lawsuit-happy lawyers, maybe. This show wasn't romantic. It was a borderline HR violation. Koreans were watching this like, did the producers lose a bet? Is this a dare? And if you thought this was peak entertainment, I'd love to know what's in your Netflix queue so I can block it preemptively. Hey punk, subscribe to Miss K Insider before moving to the third one. 3. My Mister. Why you loved it? IU being a queen, Lee Sun-kyan doing the whole miserable middle-aged man thing, and a deep plot about healing and connection. How poetic. Why Korea hated it? Sure, the show claimed it wasn't romantic, but the 20-year age gap screamed otherwise. Koreans couldn't look past the creepy dynamic, an older man guiding a younger woman while she's drowning in trauma. Throw in scenes of IU getting verbally and physically abused, and viewers weren't buying the whole "it's about healing" pitch. Let's call it what it is. Trauma wrapped in artsy cinematography. Korea wasn't inspired, they were disturbed. And if you're out here saying, but it's so deep, congrats, you've officially confused emotional manipulation with good storytelling. Hey punk, you haven't subscribed yet? 4. The King, Eternal Monarch. Why you loved it? Lee Min-ho riding a white horse, parallel worlds, and lavish royal aesthetics. Admit it, you paused to screenshot his wardrobe more than once. Why Korea hated it? Oh, you thought this was a sci-fi love story. Koreans thought it was a historical disaster piece. First, the royal palace had Japanese architecture, which, considering Korea's history with Japan, was like opening an Italian restaurant and serving Taco Bell. Then, they threw in warships and maritime battles that misrepresented both Chinese and Korean history. It wasn't a drama, it was a geopolitical headache. This show had the nerve to play dress-up with international trauma and expected applause. If you stan this drama, please Google Japan-Korea relations and report back. I'll wait. 5. Snowdrop. Why you loved it? Jisoo's acting debut. Young Hae-in being tragic and handsome. Forbidden love. What's not to love? Why Korea hated it? Oh, I don't know. Maybe the fact that it used a real-life pro-democracy uprising as romantic set dressing. Imagine making a rom-com about the Boston Tea Party and casting the British as misunderstood hotties. Yeah, that's what this felt like. The drama didn't just bend history, it broke it in half, set it on fire, and danced on the ashes. Koreans were furious, and rightly so. And if you defended this show by saying, it's just fiction, congrats. You've officially graduated from the school of missing the point. 6. Joseon Exorcist. Why you loved it? Zombies, gore, and a Joseon-era apocalypse. What's not to love? Why Korea hated it? Oh, maybe the Chinese props. This wasn't historical horror, it was a straight-up cultural betrayal. Koreans were tuning in for sword fights and ghosts, not dumplings and tea sets straight out of Beijing. Add in inaccurate portrayals of King Taejing and a storyline that felt cobbled together from leftover zombie flicks, and Koreans were done. This wasn't a K-drama, it was a cultural identity crisis. If you love this, please stick to watching Train to Busan, at least that movie knows how to do zombies without offending an entire nation. Congratulations, you've survived the roast. But let's be real, you're probably still clutching your Mr. Queen merch, muttering, they just don't get it. But hey, at least you learned something today. Now go rewatch Crash Landing on You and pretend we never had this conversation. And if you're still mad about this roast, feel free to drop your salty comments below. I'll be here with popcorn, ready to roast you right back. If you want a part 2, comment down part 2, subscribe to Miss K Insider. It's not a choice, you have to subscribe.